When the Vikings came, they didn't just take gold and silver. They took something far more valuable: white gold, human beings. And for the women they captured, a fate worse than death often awaited. This is what the Vikings really did to captured women. The attack was a storm of fire and steel. Men were slaughtered, but women were a prize. Torn from their burning homes, they were bound, chained, and herded like livestock on the dragon-headed longships. This was the start of their new life as a thrall, the Old Norse word for slave. Their journey across the North Sea was a filter of life and death. Those who survived were put on display in slave markets like Hedeby. Here, their worth was judged on their youth and beauty, their past lives erased, their futures sold to the highest bidder. In her new home, a female thrall's life was one of relentless, back-breaking labor. But her body was not her own. She was the absolute property of her master, and his sexual access to her was considered a right. The sagas are clear. She could be used, abused, and forced to bear children who would also be born as slaves, owned by the master. There was no concept of consent. There was only power. Some women, through luck or skill, could become a frilla, a recognized concubine with slightly more status. But this was not freedom. It was simply a higher class of servitude, a gilded cage. The most terrifying fate, however, was recorded by travelers like Ibn Fadlan. When a great chieftain died, his favorite female slave was sometimes chosen to follow him into the afterlife. This was not an honor. It was a ritual of terror. For days, she would be passed from man to man, forced into ritual sex and intoxication, before she was brutally sacrificed by the chieftain's matriarch, a woman known as the Angel of Death. Her life was extinguished to serve her master, even in his grave. The Viking sagas name the kings and warriors, but the names of these thousands of women are lost, their stories written not in runes, but in tears and trauma.